course, cohort 3 at data validation. We'll be looking at conditional formatting and data security in Microsoft Excel. Welcome once again to cohort 3 of data analysis scholarship. In this scholarship, we are learning how to analyze data from scratch, how to become a dependent. If you can see my screen, drop in the comments, drop in the live chat so that we know that we are live tonight, and then head over to the scholarship group and let every one of them know that we are live once again. Let everyone know we are live. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. You are much welcome to tonight's section. I remain your facilitator and your host, Mr. Franklin. I remain your facilitator. I remain your host, Mr. Franklin. And tonight I'm going to be taking us on a journey of data validation, on a journey for conditional formatting, and on a journey for data security in Microsoft Excel. Welcome once again. If you are hearing me, drop in the live that you can hear me, that you can see my screen. And also go over to the scholarship group, Cohort 3 Scholarship. Drop in the WhatsApp group. Let everyone there know that we are live. Let everyone there know that we are live. Go to the scholarship group, type we are live, join now. Go to the scholarship group, type we are live, join now. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, I will also want you to drop in the live chat. Drop that in the live chat. Let me know you can hear me, you can see. Drop it in the live chat so that I will know that we are all on the same page. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, drop it on the live chat. All right, thank you, Favor. Thank you, Favor. Let's go to the scholarship group. Drop in the Cohort 3 scholarship group. Let everyone know we are live. Please, can we hear me? Can we hear me, please? Can we hear me? Please confirm if we can hear me, please. It's challenging this night. Let me know if you can hear me. It seems network is a bit challenging now. Okay, thank you, Favor. Let me know if we have dropped in the scholarship group that we are live. Please drop it in the live chat done. If we have done that, drop in the live chat done. I need to be sure that everyone in the scholarship group are aware, or we have notified of the class being live. Okay, some said it's not steady. Wisdom said it's not steady. King Victor said network is bad. Please let someone else confirm if it's steady now. Is very, very expedient. We do this class tonight because orientation camp have commenced and my schedules this period might be a bit tight. My schedule this period might be a bit tight. All right, let's head over to the scholarship group, please. Let's get over to the scholarship group. Type we are live. Join now. Thank you, Favor, for doing that. Thank you for having done that. Let's do that. Type we are live. Join now. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Type we are live. Join now. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. We will proceed. We will proceed immediately. Let's head over to our Excel. Welcome to tonight's section properly. We are going to be looking at conditional for data validation, conditional formatting, and data security. Kindly let me know what you can see right there on your screen. Let me know what you can see right there on your screen. Let me know what you can see right there on your screen. Let's do that. Let's do that. What can you see right there on your screen? Drop it in the live chat. Let me know so that I know that we are all on the same page. What can you see on the live? What can you see right there on your screen? Drop it in the live chat. What can you see live on your screen? Drop it in the live chat so we know, so that we know we are all on the same page. No, don't type it here. Somebody is saying, somebody is typing, no, go to the scholarship group, or unless you are not part of the scholarship, data analysis scholarship group. If you are part of, you go there and drop it right there. Type we are live, join now, not on the live chat. If you're on this live chat, let me know what you can see right there on your screen so that we can proceed, we can move on. Okay, my Excel sheet, my Excel sheet. All right, Favor, thank you for that feedback. Okay, we are going to be starting with conditional formatting. We are going to be starting this night with conditional formatting. Then after conditional formatting, we will move to data validation. And from data validation, we wrap it up with data security. We wrap it up with data security. All right. Now, having established that, let's look at what is conditional formatting. We use conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel or in Analysis, which is a very interesting feature in Microsoft Excel for highlighting certain informations. If you want to highlight certain data, certain information, to bring highlights, to bring attention to a specific range, to a specific data, to create more deeper insights, to show more deeper illustrations on your data set, conditional formatting is a very important feature. It's a very important feature analysts like us use in order to achieve that particular objective. In order to achieve that particular objective. So in working as a data analyst in Microsoft Excel, a time will come, maybe your manager will say, okay, in this data set, I want you to highlight those, I want you to highlight sales, sales rates that make sales above so threshold. For example, you want to reward branches or you want to reward sales rep, and there are sales threshold, and the manager wants you to highlight those sales reps that meet that threshold based on the condition. That's why we call it conditional formatting. Format any of the sales reps that meets those criteria. That's what conditional formatting is all about. And before us is this data set. We have the transaction ID, we have the transaction date, time, quantity, and the likes. Now, if peradventure the manager comes and said, I want you to highlight those the sales that is above 3. those sales that is greater than 3. You want to highlight those sales that is greater than 3. How can you be able to achieve that? That's what one of the things conditional formatting is all about. Or the manager wants you to highlight all sales that has coffee. For product category, he wants you to highlight all coffee, only coffee. There's sales that has to do with coffee. Now, how do you do that? Are you going to come to this one, you select it is coffee, you come here and you do something like this. After that, you go to the other one, this one is coffee again. Imagine this data set we are working on is a data set of over 149,000. Imagine you doing it one after the other. That will automatically take you, that will take you a whole lot of time to achieve. And sometimes you might make mistakes. So conditional formatting helps us to do it with ease. And the beauty of conditional formatting is that it's dynamic. I know why I'm taking my time to establish or explain its usage and its details, so that you understand what you are using it for and when to use it. When you want to highlight, when you want to state, or when you want to throw more light, or bring deeper illustration to your data set, conditional formatting helps us to achieve that. So let's take, for example, let's begin with the basic stuff. Now, let's take, for example, like I said, our manager wants us to highlight all sales that has to do with coffee on this data set. He wants us to highlight all sales that has to do with coffee on this particular data set. Now, to do that for this category, we come here, click, hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow, and then go to conditional formatting. Now, under conditional formatting, we come up to this place, then we come to highlight cell rules. Now, under highlighting cell rules, we can go to equals to. Now, this is the first we are going to be dealing with. When that comes up, what are we talking about here? We are talking of coffee. So you see that immediately as we type in coffee here, you see that the cells, the ones that has coffee on them, is highlighted based on this color here. The color here says light red fill with dark red text. So if you don't want it, you can choose from here. You can select yellow, you can select green, you can select any of the color. If you don't like any of them here, you can go to custom format. When you click on custom format, it brings you to this dialog box. Under this, you can come to fill. Under this, you can come to fill. Let's say that your brand color is gold or orange color or yellow, depending on the company brand color. Let's say the manager says brand, do it using our brand color, our brand font. Then let's say we pick this orange here, and then you go to your font. If the font there you want it to be white, you can come over to this place and change the font to white, for example. And then if that is okay for you, you say okay. Now automatically it shows you what this will look like. And if you are comfortable, that's perfect by you, you say okay. Now what that does here is, you can see that if we are moving up, only coffee is highlighted. Only coffee is highlighted. Only coffee is highlighted. Now let's get up here. Now let's take, for example, we clear this. Let's remove this value we have here, the formatting we have there. Let's remove it. So to remove the formatting, because if you didn't remove this and apply other formatting on it, it might override this might override the previous one. So we go over to this and come to clear rules. Now here we clear selected cells. That's what we want to do. When we do that, we have removed the formatting there. Now, follow me. There is something I want to show us now. Now we want to still on the coffee. Still on the coffee. Now under here, we want to go to new rule. Now in this new rule here, let's use this formula. Let's use this. Now here we are going to say if is equals to, we select this coffee here. Now once we select the coffee, let's come over to this. By next class, I will explain better further on what we call referencing in Microsoft Excel. In Microsoft Excel, we have three types of referencing. We have absolute referencing, we have mixed referencing, and we have relative referencing. Now, relative referencing is, I will be needing a data and activities or functions to show us what that implies. By next section, I will be taking my time to explain what that is to us. What is misreferencing, what is absolute referencing, and what is relative referencing. Now, having established that, we are going to go further. We are going to go further to apply certain changes to this. So here, but what you need to just note is, follow me, what we have here is say I2. That's say I2. Excuse me. A minute. Okay, now you notice that this cell I2, there is $sign between, there is $sign before I, and then there is $sign before 2. There is $sign before I, and there is $sign before 2. I guess we can all hear me. I guess we can all hear me. Okay, now what I will do is that I will remove the $sign before 2 because I want it to move down. I want it to move by this, the numbers are rows, alphabets are columns. So I want my formatting to move down the rows, not in the column format. So I remove the $sign here. So once that is done, I will come to format here. Under format, let's say I come to fill. Let's maintain the orange we used earlier, and then come to this, and then use our font color to be white. Then we can also apply some border. We can also apply some border here. So if I put border here, I come to this border color. Let's say I select this gray, this light gray here, and then come over to click on the outline. And once that is done, I will say OK. Now you notice how my border is, and then I will say OK. Now, once that is done, what you notice here, you see that there is no aspect of formatting here. There is nothing that we are able to format. We couldn't format anything as it stands here. Now, but let's remove the rule, and then come over to this and remove this. Now let's come over to this place, hold Control, hold Shift, press the forward arrow, and then down arrow. These are shortcuts. I want to highlight my entire data set. That's to highlight from my A2 down to over 140 something thousand. So that is what I want. Control backspace to get upward. And then once I have highlighted this, I will go to conditional formatting. Let me come to new rule. Under new rules, I want to use this to determine. Use formula to determine that, and then come over to this place. I will say equals to, let's say if Okay, no, wait. Let's come over to this, come to highlight cell, come to equals to here, and then once that is, I can click on this. Now, once I click on it, you see it highlights these ones. Now, but that is not really what I want. So let's go to new rule and come to use formula here, and then inside here we say equals to, let's say this. Now if this, remove this here, and then if equals to that equals, put quotation and type coffee and close the quotation. Now the formula we are having here is, if this equals to this, okay, that is what we have. And then go to format, come over to this border, let's still give it gray, and then select this, come to fill, let's maintain the orange, come to font, let's also give it the white, we choose area, and then we say okay. Now we say okay here. Now you notice, what do you see here? You notice that instead of having only coffee, we have been able to make it to format the entire range. So we can trace all the coffee together, not only this, not only highlighting the coffee column, but now we are highlighting the entire range. Let's assuming that your manager said, okay, let's highlight only those that has coffee, only sales of coffee. When we go down, you see that all we have here are coffee. All we have here are coffee. And one thing about this is that it's dynamic. One thing about this is dynamic. If maybe tomorrow we discover that this is not coffee, it's tea, for example, and we come here and we type tea and hit enter, you see that this is no longer highlighted. Why? Because the conditional formatting we applied here, we want to select or highlight only the columns that has only the range, the data range that is coffee. We are not interested in tea. We are not interested in bakery, drinking chocolate and the likes. We are not interested in them. We want only the ones, these are one of the powerful features. These are one of the power stuff of conditional formatting. We are taking it up one after the other. So for you to format based on alphabets using text, formatting using text. Now, when you format using text, there are different ways. You can come here, sales rules, and you say equals to, you can type. You can say text that contains so this. When you say text that contains, that's only this, is highlighting that particular text here. But when we want it to highlight the entire range, you come over to this place, hold Control, hold Shift, press the forward arrow, down arrow to highlight the range, all the data set, all the range of data set you want to conditionally format. Then Control backspace to come upward. Now let's we have. Now to do that, I want to repeat it again so that we can understand. So I want to do that again so that we can understand it. When you first highlight your entire data set, you go to conditional formatting. Now under conditional formatting, go to new rule. When you want to highlight the entire row, if you want to highlight the entire row of the data set, you go to that. But if you want to highlight a specific data, a specific column, you go to highlight cell rules and equals to. So it will highlight those ones that are equals to that particular stuff. But now we are going to new rule. We are going to new rule. Now under new rule, you select use a formula to determine which cell to format. Use a formula to determine. So once you click on this, you come over to this place. Remember, every formula function in Microsoft Excel begins with a quality sign. Remember that. So when we say equals to, we want it to format it, conditionally format it based on coffee. Remember, we want it to conditionally format based on coffee. So you click on this cell, which is coffee. If you want tea, you click on tea. If you want drinking chocolate, you click on drinking chocolate. Okay, let's do for the one of tea. Now you click on this. Now once you have done that, come over to this formula, remove the dollar sign before the number. Remove the dollar sign before the number. So here I will remove the dollar sign here. The only one that will have dollar sign will be the alphabet. This is dollar sign I, then number. Then equals to, if we are saying if this cell equals T, if it equals T, then format it. And remember the rule in Excel and other database softwares says when you are declaring a character, a string, or a text function, you put it under quotation. So here that's why we put T under single quotation, double quotation rather. So we are saying if this equals this, then give it this formatting. Now come to fill, we come to fill, let's say, let me use green this time around. Then come to this, apply border. Let's say I apply this gray border as well. Or let's say I apply this, let me use the gray, let me use this. And then come over to this, select this, and then go to font. Let's apply white as well. And then we say okay. Now this is what it shows us, a preview of what we most likely to have if all things being equal. Then we come here and we say okay. Now you notice that every of the ones that is, what did I put there? What did I put? Let me clear it and let me clear this rule. If, let's go back. Then equals this, remove this, then come in front, say equals T. I think there is something I'm suspecting. Then we come to font, color, we make it white, come to border, select this light gray, click on this, come to fill, let's select our green and say okay, and say okay. It's still taking the first coffee and then taking tea as well. It took tea here. Okay, there is something I want to do now. Let me clear this. Let me clear the rule. And then let's, okay. Let me come to this new rule, use formula. Then I will say equals if this, whatever that is here, whatever that is here, Okay, I think if whatever that is here, uh, let me let me check that, equals T. If it's T, that's what it should be. Remove that. If it's T, then format, what did I do? Clear the rule first. So we go back again and say new rule, use formula, then equals, if what we have here, where we will remove the dollar sign, if is equals double quotation and add T. If it's T, if this equals T, then let's format. We want green, and then border we want gray, light gray, apply it. Then the font we want white, and then we say okay. And this we say okay. Beautiful. That's how we do that. So that's, I made a mistake of selecting this. I forgot. So here we have the T. So you select, this works mostly is you select the first cell in the range you selected, the first data or the first cell in the range of data you selected based on a particular column you want. So once you select this and say if it's equals to any of the value there, then give me so column. That is how you can apply a conditional formatting using text. We look at, let's clear this and see if for number, how we do that. The same way, go to conditional formatting, come to new rule. Under new rule, you can come over to use formula, and then you say equals. You can say equals if this, let's say we want to highlight all cells that is greater than 3. Any cell that is greater than 3, we want to highlight it. So we can say if this is greater than 3, for example, then remember to remove this dollar sign here. If not, all of them will be highlighted. Now, if not, all of them, both the 3, both the 2, all of them will be highlighted. Now let me show us what I mean. Remember, I didn't remove this. So if I go to format here, come to color, let me make it white as well. Come to border, let me select the light gray and select this. Come to fill, let me select the same green, and then I will say okay. This is what we are having. Then I say okay. Now you see what I said. All of them is apply the format. All of them has the formatting, whether is above 3 or below 3, they are all formatted, which is not what we want. So for us to do that, we can go to clear rules and then apply the new one now. So we go to new, use formula, and then we can say equals to this, and then come and remove the dollar sign in before the number, and then say equal if this is greater than 3. And remember, in database and spreadsheet softwares, once it's number, you don't put it under any quotation. Don't put it whether single or double quotation, provided is a numerical value. So once that is done, we come to format here. Under fill, we select our color. Under border, you can choose any color of your choice anyway. Select this, then under font, play, we can do the white, and then we say okay. And we say okay. Now you see the ones that are above 3 is highlighted. Now let's take, for example, our manager comes and said, no, this is not what we want. We want those that are 3 above, that means 3 is inclusive. We are not talking. We are not talking about what is. We are not talking about greater than 3. We are talking about greater than or equals to 3. Our manager explains that to us and say once is greater than or equals to 3, that's what we are referring to. Hence, to rectify that, we go to our conditional formatting, come to clear rules, and we remove the rule first. And then we go back to conditional formatting. Now, under conditional formatting, we can come to new rules. Now, under new rules, we come to format cells, and we come to which of the is it this? Okay, I think this will give us that. No, I think it's this one. Yes, we select this cell value between, so we can come to this, use the drop down arrow. You see what we have here. You see greater than or equals to. So once we select this, it shows greater than or equals to what? Here, what are we talking about here? We type 3. So once it's greater than or equals to 3, what do we want? We go to format. Under that, select your field. Select your border, which is your choice. I just want to show us that. Then come to color, you select your color, your choice, and then you say OK. And then you say OK. Now, you see that I think I made a bit of error here. But what I want to achieve, let me remove this thing. What do we call it? Remove the rule here. For this, to highlight only this, we select, we come over to this place. That's where I miss. Go Control Sheet, press the down arrow, Control backspace, you get upward. Now to highlight, you select or you highlight the range of the amount. Since this is what we are interested in, with the values that we want to see, the values greater than or equals to 3. I'm coming to the one of using this to highlight the entire row. I'm coming to that as well. I'm coming to that. So to show us on this, I'm going to go to conditional formatting. I'm going to, if you like, you can get it through this. You can go through highlight cell rules and come to more rules. That's another way you can get it. When you come to more rules, you see it brings us directly to this place without coming to select this option. So immediately it brings us here. We can come to this place and select greater than or equals to, and then go over to our format what the color we want, the way we are asked to do it. Come over to this place and then you select white. That's my choice for tonight's section. And then we say OK. Okay, I think I haven't entered any value. Here I'm going. Please, can we hear me now? Yes, I had a bit of network challenge. Can we hear me now? Please confirm if you can hear me. Kindly confirm if you can hear me right now. If you can hear me now, let's confirm. All right, beautiful. Okay, now let me clear these cell rules and then show us what I did. Now here for this, if you want to identify or you want to just see the values that are, you want to highlight only values that are greater than or equals to 3. For example, you can come to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, go to more rules. Here, greater than. Now, if I put greater than 3 here, I'm saying that if it's equals to 3 like this, it won't be highlighted. Now, because of time, I'm going to select only field. For example, I'm going to select only field and then say OK, and then say OK. Now you see that it highlights only those that is greater than 3. However, if our manager comes and say, no, we need them that both 3 and above, that means greater than or equals to 3, we come to cell rules, go to highlight cell rules, and then come over to this place, come to this. Once this dialog box appears, you see this box here that puts greater than. Click this drop down arrow here. Once you click on it, you will see this option called greater than or equals to. You select it and then type your number 3. Then go to format and do any formatting of your choice. You can select any color. Here, still maintain what we are working with. And then I will say OK. Now you see it selects this. Okay, now what if our manager wants to see all those values that are greater than or equals to 3 to be highlighted all in the same range? That's what we have done previously. You used formulas and you say greater than, you say this equals to this greater than or equals to 3. Okay, let's do that for the final time for this particular type. So to do that, you need to highlight the entire range, hold Control, hold Shift, forward arrow, down arrow to highlight the entire range, then Control backspace to get upward where we are. Then go to conditional formatting. Under conditional formatting, you come to new rules. Under new rule, you select use formula. So here you are going to say equals, if this, you click on it, if it's greater than or equals to. If it's greater than or equals to 3. That's what we are talking about here. Then you go to format, select, let me select this, and then let me select just the color white and say OK. Now once that is done, remember, I did not remove the $sign. I did not remove the $sign. That's why all of them were formatted. So let me clear the rules and then do that again. Go to new rules, use the formula, come over to this and say equals, select this, come over to this place, remove the $sign in the number, and then say if it's greater than or equals to 3. What do I want? I want to format as green. Let me go to border, make it gray, and select this, apply it, go to font, come to font color, select white, say OK, and then come over to this place and say OK. Now you see automatically it highlights those that are greater than or equals to 3. And that is how we achieve this through conditional formatting. All right, now let's head over. Let's also progress to other stuff to explain each and every one of these. Let me remove this. Let me clear the rules. Let me clear rules. Now, let's take, for example, I want to go to highlight this backspace. I want to highlight cells that are greater than. The same way, if I click on cells that are greater than, let's say, let's say I highlight those cells that are greater than 5, automatically you see that is highlighted. You can select any of your color choice, format choice, which we have done. You can go to custom format, whatever here you like. If you like this, any of your choice, and you say okay. You say okay, that is this. Now also you can come over to this and say less than, between, equals to text that contains date or current, duplicate values, and that. So also here you can select top 10, top 10%, top bottom 10, bottom 10%, above average, and all that. So let's look at this, the top 10. If I come here and say top 10, you are seeing this. If we say top 10 and then let's say we highlight with green, for example, and I say okay, none of these are among the top 10. So if I increase it, you can increase it to say top 20. None of them is among, if I say top 50, none of those ones here is among the top 50. So what that tells you is that what we are seeing here is of a lesser Can we hear me? I think yes or yes. I guess we can hear me, right? So what we need to do, what we can do, we can come here and say the top 10. We will look for it. Once that is done, we want it in green. We say okay. So if we scroll down, if we keep scrolling down, we will see okay. Now to be sure that that is what is done, let me bring filter. Let me add filter here. Come to filter and then number filter and then come to top 10. I want to filter top 10 and then I say okay. Of course, now you see that those values that are top 10, you can count them. They are all in green. They are all in green text. So that is to show us that that formatting is applied. That formatting is applied, and all of them are coffee beans, which are premium beans. So if you want to confirm that, you can see that here, and then we clear filter, and that is on the aspect of control backspace, and that is on the aspect of the top 10, bottom 10. Feel free to check all these ones. It's the same procedure. If I go to above average, you see it, these are above average. These ones are above average, these ones are below average. So that is on that, very easy, very simple. These are basic conditional formatting. Feel free to check these ones, bottom 10, top 10 percentage, and that. Then for data bars, we use it very well in analysis, data analysis, visualizations, and the likes. So if I come here and select this, you see that while you are seeing a slight stuff here, let me increase it so that it looks, you see a slight stuff here. Why? Because of the data you have $360 value, 360 value. That's why you are seeing this thing. And those 360, we can call them outliers. They are the outliers of this data set. If we are analyzing them, we can base our performance based on those results. Based on those results, they are what we call the outliers. So you see what we have here. If we can go to this and use stuff like this. If you sell, or let me clear the rule, then I like always to remove the first rule before apply. So what data bar does is to give it a kind of to add a particular data, a particular bar range to show you the value of that particular data in that cell as regards to other values in the cell. So if we go to color and I apply, say something like this, you notice what we are having here. Difference in this, which we cannot really differentiate between each other. I don't normally use this. I don't normally use that one. It's not something I use often. So you can come to icons. Now under icons is another aspect of where I use to as my indicators and that. And when I work, I always like using these ones. So once I click on it, see what happened. He comes here and put XXXX. However, because this my data set, you see 360 have made this one to look as if is a poor result. I've made the one above 5 to look as if it's a poor result. But based on our data set, based on the average stuff of our data, it's not a poor result. So what do we do? What do we do when we have stuff like this? We can come over to this, come to icon. Now under the icon, you move down to more rules, and click on it. Now you see what is taken here. Is taking greater than or equals to 67%. So what we are going to do here is, if it's greater than 5, let's use 5 as our benchmark, as our average. If it's greater than 5, so we come here and select the greater than. Here it was greater than or equals to. Then we are not looking at percentage. We want it to look at it based on number. So we come here and select number. The same way we do this, okay, here now it does this, we put it 5. Very important. Then come over to this and select greater than. So here, if it's greater than 3, if it's greater than or equals to 3, let's take our 3 to be, if it's greater than or equals to 3, so we can select this. If it's greater than or equals to 3, then this, give it yellow. Then if not, give it red. But here we can still come here as to select this my particular icon. I like the one that have good and this sign. So once I checked it, if it's greater than 5, it's green, it's on the green. If it's greater than or equals to 3, then it will be warning, yellow warning. Then if it's less than 3, then it's a red. So once that is done, I will say okay. Now you see what we have here. We notice the ones that are above 5, they are no. This gave me something. Let me clear the rules and then let's do that again. Come to this, come to icon. Let's go down. Now under the icon, let's select this and then come over to this place, make this number, and then select this, make it 5, and come over to this. I think I forgot to change this one to number as well. Then come over to this, greater than or equals to 3 is okay by me, and then come over to this and make it number, okay. Then Okay, now watch this. All these need to be in order. When the value is greater than 5, give this. This is when the value is less than or equals to 5 and greater than or equals to 3. Give me warning. When it's less than 3, give me this. And they are all numbers. We are considering them all in numbers, and then I say okay. Now we have the accurate data we are looking for. Now you look at this. Once is equals to 3, the one that is equals to 3 is warning. Below 5 is also warning, but the ones that are less than 3 is red with the slash sign, and that is one of the things that conditional formatting helps us to achieve based on certain criteria in which we are working with. Based on the criteria in which we are working with. All right. Now, having established the aspect of conditional formatting, let's us move over to the final aspect in conditional formatting, then we progress to other stuff. Now let's say, for example, I'm preparing a form. I'm preparing student form. Let's say I have here student rate form, for example, and under student rate form here I have full name, then I have department, I have, let's say, student ID, then I have course, then let's say I have email, let's say I have email, and then gender, and phone number. For example, just let's say we have this. Let's say this is what we have. Now, here I can format this, give them a certain stuff. That's not what I want to do. Come to border, go to more border. Apply this light gray. Okay, now let's say I have this. Now what I want here is, let's say I want if the place is blank. Let's say I want if this is blank to give me a particular color. If it's not blank, to give me another color. Let's say this is what I want. If it's blank, give me this color. If it's not blank, give me another color. So to do that, I can select this, hold Control, select this, select this, select this, select this, select this, and this. And then go to conditional formatting. Under conditional formatting, I will come to cell rules. Now under cell rules, I will come to this. Now you see this. It says cell value. I will come to cell value. Now under the cell value, if it's blanks, if we are saying if that is blank, if it's blank, what do I want? I will come to format here. Let me come to format, come to fill. Let's say I want this light gray. I want this light gray. If it's blank, give me this light gray. So that is what we want. And then I say, okay. Now what are we seeing here is a light gray. We are seeing this light gray. However, we can also come here and hold Control to select all these ones. We are rounding up with conditional formatting. With this, you have mastered conditional formatting effectively. Now when we have this, go to conditional formatting, then come to new rule, then select this as well, and come to this. And now say no blanks. So if it's not blank, what do you want? We want this. Let's say if it's not blank, let's say we want it to show this color. Then come to border. Under border, let it show this color, for example, and select this. And we say okay. Then okay, let's say okay, and then we say okay. Now what does that shows us? That now makes us that if I type something here, name, let's say I type here Williams Adetunji, for example, and hit enter. What do you notice? Automatically that gives you the color I assigned it to. Once it's not blank, provided it's not blank, whatever you put here and move, it will give you this color. So with that, you will not say I mistakenly did not type here or stuff like that. With that, you make your data entry, your data formatting to your data set to look very, very okay, very, very interesting. All right. And that is all on the conditional format. That is all for conditional format. Now, having established that, the next we are going to be going over or going to is we are going to be looking at data validation. We are going to be looking at data validation. Now, in data validation, let's take for example this data set we have here. Let me copy the column headers. Let me copy the column headers here, Control C, and let me remove everything here. Let me remove everything here first. Let me come here, clear all. And Control V, I know it will not paste. Let me reduce this. Okay. Let me copy that again. Control C. Let me paste it here. Control V. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to use this to show us is this. In our data entry, let's say these 4 locations we have here, then product categories, instead of typing them one after typing them again, this you type, we can type them once and for all and then use data validation to fill it. And one thing about data validation, what data validation helps us to achieve, the data validation helps us to mitigate errors. It helps us to ensure that we don't have error in our entry. What you want the persons to enter, that's what they will enter. You declare within the data, within the spreadsheet, what value or what kind of data you really want to enter in your data set. For example, if you don't want any other store location, you can declare it using data validation. Now let's see that for example. Now in this let me get to know all the locations we have in our data set. In this data set, I want to know all the locations. Then to do that, I'm going to use a function called unique. So I'm going to say equals to unique, double click this. If you are using Office 2019 downwards, you will not have this function. So I select this, hold Control, hold Shift, down arrow, Control backspace to return where we are. So I hit enter. Automatically it shows me that we have three store locations. So what I will do is that I will copy it, Control X. Let me use Control S to cut it. Then come to a place. Okay, I don't even need to cut it. I don't need to cut it. Control Z. I don't need to cut it. So it's showing me that we have 3 store locations. Now, but if you are the one, you are a data entry personnel and you are entering it, you come here, you see the data, you type Lower Manhattan. If you said you are going to be tired a lot, and most times you most likely make mistake when you are typing. So what we do is we use data validation to ensure data consistency and to ensure that our data is correctly entered. Our data is rightly entered. So to do that, we are going to go over to, let's say for store location, let me select the entire column. Your choice, you can select entire column, you can select a specific range, for example like this, but provided that we are dealing with consistent data, all this time we are going to be entering data as time progresses, we are going to be entering data. So I'm going to click on the hook column. Once you click on X, you have selected the entire column from here down to 1 point something million. So having done that, go to the option or the tab, you click on the tab called data. Under the tab data, you come under the group called data tools. Under the group called data tools, you come there and you select this. You select this. Some of you might see the name data validation. Some of you might see this icon here. Once you see this icon here, this know that is data validation. Click on it, you select data validation. So once that is done, when you select it, you come to this, which is called any value. So you click on it, you select list. Now, once you select list, you come over to this. Let's say this is where your list of items. You can type them manually. You can use unique or put them in a particular place and then select them. I'm going to show us certain strategy as we progress. So let's say I select this as my source. Now understand this, now I select this as my source and then I hit OK. Now what you will notice is that here if I click this, you see the drop down arrow, which is if this is Lower Manhattan, I click on it, it selects it. Then this one, if it's Astoria, I click on it, it selects it. Now let's step for what if tomorrow our company opens another branch, opens another store up to 3, 4 in another location. And then you come here, you add it, you come here to add it, let's say this is Etan, and then the other one is maybe you add this, and then the other one is stuff like this. I'm just typing stuff on my head. Now, if you add it and still come to this place, it will not be part of it. So what do you do? There are different ways Well, the stuff is hanging a bit. What do we do? The data set is heavy. Mm. Let me close this and open it again. That's it will take us it will take us some time. I don't know why it's still delaying. Can we hear me? It's still loading. All right. Now let me open a new worksheet. Let me work with a fresh one, and let me come here. Control C, Control V. Now already Okay, let me do that here. Equals unique. That's not what I want. And then let me select this, Control Shift down arrow, enter. So I have this. Let me copy this and come over to this place. Let's say I paste it anywhere here. And I'm going to paste it as values. All right. So we now have this. Now in what I was saying earlier is, if tomorrow, okay, let me apply the validation here, go to data. Now under data, come to validation here, select data validation, and then come to this, select list. What is my source? This is my source. I select this and then hit enter. So what that shows me is that if I click here, I see my drop down. I don't need to be typing them over again. So what I need to do is, if I click here, if it's Lower Manhattan, I select. If it's any of them, I don't need to type them manually again. Now, let's say for tomorrow, we open branches, and let's say we open branches, let's say branches in Lagos, we open branches, let's say in where we open branches, let's say in Kano, and then let's say we open branches, open another branch, or whatever, for example. Let's say we have this. But if we enter it here, there is no way it will not show here. So if we want it to reflect, we can take this, carry it, hold shift, move it into any of these. So once we do that, we remove our hand, you see it is inside here. It pushes this down. So if we come here now and click, you see automatically is part of it becomes part of our drop down. But we might not be doing this every now and then. Hence, there is a better way. Let me undo this. Hence, there is a better way. So this, let me bring this out here and come over to this location, come to this clear data validation. Come to this and remove it to make it to any value and say, okay, now there is no validation, there is no drop down button icon on that particular stuff. So let's do that again. But before we do that, I'm going to maybe call this location. I'm going to call this location. So that becomes my heading. Now, before I do that, what I'm going to do is click anywhere here and then press Ctrl T to make it a table. And my table have headers, of course, and then say OK. Now this becomes a table. If I like, I can select this particular table style. Now, once I do that, I can come over to this pivot table, remove the filter option so that it doesn't look like that. Then let's go over to our location again to apply data validation. So we select this, head over to data, under data, come to validation here, and we click data validation. So when we do that, we come to this select list. Under list, our source will be on this. So our source will be this. You select, make sure your cursor is like this dark arrow pointing downward. So if your cursor is dark arrow pointing downwards, it will select, it will ignore the column header. This is your table column header. It will ignore it to select only the data. As you can see here, is selecting O2 to O4. So you can see it from this to this. So that is what you have, and then you say okay. Here now we have our data validation as this. But the beauty of making it in a table is because when you format your data source in a table, a table is dynamic. Table is dynamic, it absorbs is a dynamic array. Table becomes a dynamic array table. So if that is the case, we can come here, and then if I add it, if I bring this to be part of this particular table here, automatically you will see immediately I push it to the last one, automatically this absorbs it. Then if I come to my location here, you can see also automatically it becomes part of the location, because the table is dynamic. When you add stuff to it, it becomes part. So you don't need to bother worry whether it shows up here or not, because it's in a table. If we open another branch, let's say we open another branch in Ile-Ife, for example, and then hit enter, is that becomes part of this. Now see now this place that I hit enter, you see this is the last part. If I come to location here and click, you see Ife is already part of it. So as a means to encourage us, and that it's necessary that your data source is in a table. Your data source, you can put it and format it to be in a table. Now, time will not permit me to talk about other advanced features of data validations and creating a drop-down aspect, which I'm going to do a separate video for us on that and drop for us in the group. I'm going to do a separate video on that, creating a drop-down list, different ways you can create a drop-down list from beginner to advanced features, and then certain things that you need to understand, because this works when it is on the same sheet. If it's on another sheet, your data source, if your source is on this sheet while you are bringing it in here, let's say the location, the company's store location is, the list is in another sheet, and you use this particular pattern, it most likely, not most likely, it will not be able to work. So I'm going to do a separate video for that for us and send to us due to our time. All right. Now, another thing we want to do is that this store ID, let's say here the store ID should be numbers, and let's say the number should be between so or so. We can also add data validation to this. We can click this and go to data validation. We can click this, go to data validation. Then under data validation, we come here and select whole number. It's not decimal, it's not list, it's not date, it's not time, it's whole number. So once you select whole number, you put, and if you want the store location to be within a certain range, that's between, we can say between 100 to 1000. That's the value that can be entered here, between 100 to 1000. For example, you put it there and then you say okay. What that means is that if I say the store location is 69, for example, and want to move downward, it will automatically tell me that this value you enter is not a value allowed for this cell, is restricted, is not allowed. So if you try again and now you enter 169, that means the person did not forget that it's 169 and mistakenly enter 69, and then move to the next, it accepts it. Or if you mistakenly now enter 1169, remember we put it between 100 and 1000, and you hit enter, it says no, it doesn't the data you enter does not match. It doesn't match with the data that's supposed to be in this particular column here. So we use data validation to ensure data consistency, to ensure that our data entry is limited. The errors are limited. We ensure that we do to the barest minimum, we do away with errors. So that is for the aspect of data validation on the aspect of number. So you can choose whatever or the stuff we want. Then the next one is on the transaction date. On the transaction date, we can come here, select this entire range, come over to this select data validation, any value. Now we are dealing with dates. Now, if you don't want them to make any mistake, that the date must be between a certain month. Let's say it must be this November. Any date entering must be this November. We are looking at monthly sales, November sales, for example. We can come here. This is date, this is between. So there are other things, not between, equals to, not equals to. Feel free, check these things out. They are very easy. So here I can come here to come and say the start date. Come to the system. My system date says month first before day. So I can come here and say the start date is 11/1/2025. And then come over to this and say 11/30/2025, because November is 30 days. So that is what we want. So after that, if person enters a wrong date, what do you want it to give? What error message do you want to give? If you don't want the standard error message, you can give your own error message. And what is the error message? You can say, you can put here wrong dates. You can put here wrong dates entry. Full stop. Wrong date entry, full stop. Then can say kindly enter the correct date. So let's say that is the error message we want it to display. Kindly enter the correct date. That's the error message we want it to display, and we say okay. Now let's take, for example, I will now come here and say 12/12/2025 and hit enter. Automatically it shows me wrong date entry. Kindly enter the correct date. So with that, the person will know that the date he or she enters is not correct. So you need to retry to enter the correct one. Let's now come over to this. Let me come here and remove 2 and put 1 and hit enter. You see, automatically it accepts it. It accepts the date entry. That's on the aspect of entry. Now, let's look at the one of price. Let's look at I'm going to use this to explain certain things. Now come to data validation. Under price, let's go to setting, come to any value. Let's take, for example, we are using whole number, and under the price, we are not selling anything. We are not under the price. We don't have any product that is, for example, that is less than let's say that is less than 500, for example. We don't have any that is less than 500. It's from 500 above. So we can select greater than or equals to 500, for example. So you use that to ensure that unit price, you mitigate. There is no product, there is no item there that the price is below 500. So you can use that to checkmate entry. Someone might want to enter 500 and mistakenly enter 150. That way, the person will be called to order. Now, but that's not where my emphasis is on this particular stuff. Now, you look at this. Under the error message, the style, you have stop here. There are other ones, you have warning, you have information. Now, if you want a strict validation, you don't want any alteration, you don't want any room to change, use the stop style. But if you want somebody to use his or her own discretion, that you prompt the person that based on validation, this is not right. But if you have checked all through, you are sure of what you are entering, then you can continue. Then you can use warning option. Now let's look at it. Now I use warning here. Now I can say kindly verify your entry. Kindly verify your entry. And then remember we are saying minimum of 500 and we say okay. Now let's say I come here, I said I enter 450 and hit enter. Now what you will notice here is that it's now telling me stuff. He said kindly verify your entry and he's asking me, do you wish to continue? Do you want to continue? But if it's stop will not even ask you whether you want to continue. This one is warning you. But if you insist, if you want to continue, if you check that and you see that everything you and the thing is correct, then you say yes. So if I click yes, this entry is allowed. But let's look at these ones here that I used stop. Remember 100 to 1000. If I enter 43 here and hit enter, it doesn't give me any other option. This is not part of it. Retry. There is nothing like you want to continue. Try again until you get the accurate data that ought to be there. So if I remove this and say 99 and click, it will still not accept me until, but if I use any of these ones, if here in validation error message, I used any of these ones, I have the privilege to change, to continue. Now let me change to information. This is not, I'm changing to information. I say, okay. Now come over to this place. Let's say I type 120. Hit enter. The only thing it tells me, it gives me information. That's the only thing it does. It tells me, okay, kindly verify your entry. This entry, you get as EB. That's the information. It's not even asking, do you want to continue? So if I say, okay, I can leave it or go back to change it. So that is the stuff as regards to the error message, as regards to the error message we have here. Please bear that in mind. Then on your own, feel free to check out these ones. If you want to stick to a particular time, maybe you are working as a data analyst or as a manager, and where you are working is there is morning shift, there is night shift, day and night rather. There is day shift, there is night shift. So you want those that in the morning shift to know their sales separate from those in the night shift, and you don't want anything that I mistakenly enter this time, but it's not this. You don't want it. So what that implies is that you can select a particular time. For example, let me enter this. In this transaction time, come to this, come to validation, and then come over to this and select time. You can select between so time when the morning day shift opens and when they end. And that's all. And that's the aspect of validation. Now, before I move to data security, I will want to show us what we call multiple drop down. Now, time might not permit me. We have less than 15 minutes to go. Okay, I think I will do a video on that to create multiple drop down lists. How you can do that is part of the things I will give to us due to time. But these validations, these basic and intermediate level of data validations are what we are going to be making use of every now and then. We are going to be using it so often. We are going to be using it so often. All right, now let's move to data security. Let's move to data security. Now, in data security, I'm going to rush it. I'm going to be fast on it to show us how we can secure our data in 3 different ways. First is to password the workbook. This entire workbook, if you want to password it, that you don't want anybody to have access to it without your permission. You are a financial analyst, you are a data you're a data entry specialist, you're a data analyst. You don't want people to alter the data. You don't want anybody to have access to the data without your permission. You can lock it. You can password the workbook. But please note, once you password it, you need to remember the password. Because when you forget the password, it's most likely it's more like 99, 98, 99% OTLO. It don't go be that. So when you are passwording, please remember, when you are passwording, remember to use a password you can remember. Okay, to password your workbook, you go to File. You go to File. Under File, you come to Info. Now, when you get to Info, you will see this Protect Workbook. But under the Protect Workbook, when you click on it, you see Encrypt with Password, Protect Current Sheet, Protect Workbook Structure, Restrict Access, and all that. You can select Encrypt with Password. So once you select Encrypt with Password, for this night, I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just for the sake of this class, I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I will say OK. It will ask me to re-enter it again. I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and say OK. Now you see automatically it says a password is required to open this workbook. So if I close this workbook now, if I close it, I want to open it again, it will require that I use password. Now let's do that. Let me close it. It will say save this. Yes, I will say I want to save it. Let me save it as book 1. There is no time to type anything. Save it on desktop, or let me save it on document and then say save. So I have saved that as book 1. Let me go to my document and then let me go to my document and come over to this book 1. As we can see here, let me open it. So automatically you see it's asking me that this book 1 is protected. I should enter the password. So if I can't enter the correct password, then I will not have access to the data inside. So I can enter here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and say OK. So once that is done, you see immediately I opened the data, I have access to it. So most persons lock the workbook entirely, that you don't have access to it. Now, another layer of protection is that, let's take for example, you lock this, and then in this sheet, you don't want person, even if you give somebody access, or somehow the person discover your password and open the workbook, let them not tamper with data in this sheet. For example, they can tamper with data in sheet 3, sheet 2, and what have you. But data in this sheet 3, let them not tamper with it. So how do you password, or how do you protect your sheet, your worksheet? Remember, we have talked about how to protect a workbook. Now we are moving over to protect your worksheet or your spreadsheet. This is sheet 1. That means if the person have access to the workbook, it can edit anything in sheet 1, sheet 2, edit anything in sheet 2, sheet 3, and other sheets you have in that workbook. But he or she will not be able to edit anything on this sheet. That's what we are talking about. Now, that is, how will I put it now? That is what we call protecting worksheets. And to do that, you go to view. Okay, you go to review. Now, under review, you will see what we have here under protect. You will see protect sheet. Protect sheet. So when you click on it, it will ask you to put a particular password. Let's go ahead and put what we, for this night, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then say, okay, it asks you to re-enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we say, okay, this already is protected. So that means I cannot enter anything. If I want to type, I cannot enter. I cannot edit anything here. I guess you can hear my keyboard. I can't edit anything. That is protecting worksheet. Now, to unprotect the sheet, you click on it and type the same password. That's to remove the protection. You click on it and type the same password you did before. That is okay. Now, for now, we have removed the protection. Now, what if we want to protect, let's say we want this. We don't want anybody to change this, for example. We don't want anybody to change this, but you can have access to anything here. But we don't want you to change this. We don't want you to change this. You can have access to whatever that is here. We want to protect only this particular information to an extent that you can be working here, but you can't edit anything here. That is the aspect of what we call cell. That's what we call cell protection. And after that, that is where we will wrap up the data security. We call it cell protection. We are protecting specific cells. Cell or cells protection. Either you protect a particular cell or more than one cell or cell protection. So if you want to protect this range, or you want to protect every data you have here, so that other persons can be doing anything here, but let them not have access to anything here. That's your choice. So depending on the cells you want to protect, I want to teach you how you can do that, cells protection. So to protect, let's say we want to protect only this. Follow me, because we have limited time. Follow me. To do that, first you need to unlock the sheet. First, you need to unlock this sheet, this entire sheet, so that you protect only this one while others remain unprotected. So to unlock this entire sheet, what do? You can come to this place, see my cursor here, this between 1 and A. You click on it. That is to select the entire sheet from A1 to to XFD 1,040,000 something something, the entire sheet. So once you select the entire sheet, right click. Now once you right click, this pop-up menu appears, you go to format cells. So when you click on format cells, this option shows up. You go to protection. You go to this option called protection. Now once you come to this option called protection, you see that this sheet is locked. This sheet is locked. So what you are going to do is to unlock it by removing the check button. You uncheck it. So once you uncheck it, and then you say okay. What you have done is this: when you remove that lock, what that simply means is that even when you protect this sheet, it will not be protected. Provided you have removed that lock, you have unlocked this sheet, it will not be protected. Now, see what I'm saying. Let's go to protect sheet again. Type the same password. Type the same password and enter it again. It shows us that the sheet is protected. But now let's see if we can type. As you can see, we can type. Why? Because it's not locked. It's not locked. That's the reason. It's not locked. We can type. The reason is because the sheet is now unlocked. So we can remove the protection by typing the same stuff. Now, having established that, for you to password a particular cell, you need to unlock the entire sheet, the entire cells. So having done that, what do we do now? We go to this range of cells we want to password. Select them. Once we select them, right click, go to format cells, and then lock it. Lock it. What we are saying, we are locking only this range, so that when we apply protection, it will be valid. We are locking only this range. Or let me remove this. Let me select up to this. Let me give one space so that when person put data in it, it will absorb it. So I select this, right click, go to format cells, and then lock it. So once that is done, I will hit enter. So what that means is that now, if I go to protect sheet, type my password, enter, and retype again, enter. Now, all we can see is that this is protected. Now, let's see. If I type here, I can type. But here, you see I can't type. I can't put anything there. It's telling me that that place is protected. Here, I can select, but I cannot type. It's protected. So only this range is protected. Stuff here is, we can't edit it. That is how you protect a cell or range of cells. First, you unlock the entire sheet. When you unlock the entire sheet, you can now select those specific cells you want to lock, you want to protect. When you select them, you right click, go to format cells, and lock it. Why this format cell is not active is because there is protection on this particular sheet. There is protection on this particular sheet. So if we remove the protection, we can still see, we will see that format. So this is how you protect your cells, how you protect your worksheets, and how you protect your workbook. And among these protections, the one that is very strong, that you can't easily maneuver, is passwording, encrypting password. That's workbook protection. Protecting it from this place, going to this and going to info. You see, is on protection. If you want to unprotect it, you come to this place, click, it will ask you to enter the password again to remove the protection. So if you don't want it, you leave it. And that is the aspect of data security. And why is this very, very important? And why is it very, very necessary? We are rounding up, we are done. Why is very necessary is because those of us working with financial data, numerical data, that if you change one number, it can affect the entire analysis. It can affect the entire data. That way you password it, you password your cells, you password your sheet, you can as well also password the entire workbook. So nobody edits or tamper with the data set except your permission. That's why data security is very important, especially those of us that will be working with financial data, sales reports, financial reports, budgets, and all that, allocation, revenues, and all that. Very, very important. And that is where we have come to the end of tonight's section. And those of us that are still with me up to this moment, now I'm taking my attendance. Drop your name, your scholarship ID, your location, and let me also give me that feedback. How is the tonight's section? What are you able to learn this night? Thank you for staying with me up to this moment. For those of us in the scholarship group, most of us on this live call, we see it. The attendance is not improving. I will still hammering it until when we take action, so that people will not begin to talk unnecessarily and stuff like that. So that, as we can see, the attendance is not improving. People will purposely come to live class, write name and post, whether we are asking for attendance or not. They will just write their name, their location, scholarship ID, and post. And someone might be complaining of network, which most cases is not not the case. Attendance is dropping day by day. So I will also indulge us. I will also encourage us to also put our voice, to air our voice also in the group. Let people sit up and attend classes. And if you haven't submitted your assignment, please endeavor to do so. The next assignment is, in your data set, generate a data set, or the already data set I have sent in the group. There is a data set I have already sent in the group. Apply conditional formatting. Both the one that highlights across, both the one that gives for bar, both the one of icon, both the ones for icons and the ones for data entry that I showed us, that for blanks and not blanks. Do that, and then do your conditional formatting, do data validation, and then apply, what do we call it? Apply workbook protection. When you apply workbook protection to that data set, and you are sending me that data set, send alongside the password for that workbook. Then apply sheet protection, and also send alongside. You will put, when you are sending your assignment for this particular data security, you can put on WhatsApp, you type it like this, workbook, you tell me the password, you give the password, then also something like this. Then the next one is the typing under this. Let me come here. The next one is you put here worksheet. That means this is for the entire worksheet. Then the next one is for the cell. The next one is for the cell. Please note that. So you are going to, you have 3 new assignments. Conditional formatting, everything we have learned this night, replicate it. Then the second one is to apply data validations on different stuff for date, for number, for, and also put error stuff, put your source locations, and make it in tabular form. And then your data security. That is 3 assignments we are going to have. That's 3 assignments we are having. Please note that, and note that. Very, very important. And our submission date will be announced in the group. Thank you, and do enjoy your nights. Good night, and thank you.